All right, so I'm starting a new, we can call it vlog, of a journey that I'm going on to show my creative path. How things start for me, how I decide what to do, how to design a piece, what colors, what yarns to use, all of that. I think it's important and it can be fun so that you know the behind the scenes of how I work when you come to purchase one of my patterns or look in my website for one of my free patterns, and to get to know me. So today is the first day that I'm doing it. This is part 1, and I just want to say the basic parts of it. I live in Israel. We are at war for the last year. We don't have a yarn industry in Israel, so all the yarns here are imported, which means that for the last year there were a lot of cancellations of shippings because of the war, and airlines stopped flying to Israel for days and weeks and months, and all kind of stuff like that. One of the main places that we used to import yarns from was Turkey, because it's very close. It's like an hour flight, and they have a lot of yarn companies. So, and now Turkey, we are not friends anymore, let's say it like that. So we don't buy from them, they don't buy from us. So we cannot buy yarn from Turkey. Even if I did order something from Ice Yarns or all kind of different yarn companies, they would not ship it to Israel. And not because of the flights. They would just say that the shipping cost would be like, I don't know, $300. So it's not logical. So what happens is that I have to buy yarn from sources that I usually do not use. I used to buy all my yarns from the UK, a place called Wool Warehouse, usually because I don't sell my finished pieces, I just sell the pattern, the PDF. So I'm not, and because of all this issue with the yarns, so I'm not putting my emphasis on the yarn itself. I'm not choosing a specific kind of yarn. I'm using straight, basic acrylic or cotton or blended yarn, basic, for the sample that I'm designing. And then I say in my patterns that you can choose any yarn that you like. I don't have access to all these beautiful yarns that you can find in the US, in the UK, in Europe, in all these places. I don't have access to them. So what I usually do is I just buy yarn in simple colors, like sometimes variegated yarn. It depends what I find, because it's all imported, so the prices are very, very high. So I just work with what I have. Now, because of the new situation that it's even less and less and less, I started buying yarn from a source in China. The Chinese websites, they fly here, and it doesn't take a day or two. It can take 3 weeks, but it's okay. So I started buying from a source in China, which is like Temu that you have in the US, but it's something else. It's called AliExpress. It took a while until I found a source that has good quality, like I'm talking about basic yarns, but even in the basic yarns you can have all kind of different qualities, right? So I found a source that has a good quality acrylic, 100% acrylic yarn and blended cotton yarns. And I also found in our tree, how do you call it? Tree store, you know, the dollar store. We have those in Israel as well, which of course it's all imported from China, all the things. But I found a yarn there, this yarn. It doesn't have information. Also, the Chinese yarns, they don't have information on the label. It's just minimum information. It's all written in Chinese, so I have to translate it. But anyway, it really doesn't have a lot of information. It says here, soft, high quality, and easy to knit yarn. And 100 grams for a skein. This is it. And that's it. Machine washable, tumble dry cool, can be dry cleaned. Hobby time. Now I looked it online. What is this hobby time? Probably a source, a factory, you know, for yarn somewhere. But again, I couldn't find any real information about the yarn. But I found this yarn in the dollar store. And it looked more better quality than the usual yarns that I find there. The color, it's a kind of a dark sage green, which for us, it's a very military green. This is the color that we use in the military here. So it's kind of, I'm not sure about the color because it has this connotation, but it's a very thin yarn. I think it sports weight yarn, and it's elastic. It has elastic inside. Now I don't have anything. I don't know the composition of the yarn because it doesn't say anything here. And I liked it because in this 100 gram skein there is a lot of yarn. Like, it's not a very, very small skein that you buy and you know, it's nothing and nothing. And it looks like the quality is good. It's not, it doesn't split the yarn, and it's very thin for me because I don't use such thin yarns, but it doesn't split and it looks okay. And so I said, okay. And the price was a good price for me. It's like 9 shekels, which it's less than maybe $2, less than $2. All right, so it's kind of a $1.50 or something like that for a 100 gram skein. I said to myself, okay, what can you make? This is, the process is starting. So now what I told you is just the basic, the ground where I walk, this my reality. And I started thinking to myself, what can you do? What can you design with a very thin yarn and elastic? Because this is what this yarn is. It's elastic. It goes, you know, expands. And then I thought maybe socks. Maybe maybe crochet mesh socks or lacy socks. This is something that I've never designed. And I'm willing to explore it because I always like a good new thing to explore and try and learn. So the first thing that I did today, I want to show it to you. So I will reverse the camera. I went to Pinterest and I put in the search bar crochet lace mesh socks. And what I do, I just go over Pinterest and go over and over and look at all these beautiful, beautiful examples of mesh socks. First of all, because I want to know if anybody is even interested, if anybody even would love to, you know, to have a new pattern for mesh socks. It's just for inspiration. Of course, I'm not going to duplicate any of these patterns. I'm just going to Pinterest for inspiration. The second thing that I would do, I would go to Ravelry. Let me see if I have Ravelry open here. I would go to Ravelry and do the same. Go to Ravelry and okay, and search. Okay, in patterns, I will search mesh crochet socks and see what happens. See what comes up. Okay, so I see that we have in Ravelry again quite a variety of socks. Not sure how many because it goes to scarf to scarves, and this is not socks, but we have a few here. So this is how my creative journey starts. I go and look for inspiration. I will probably spend quite a while scrolling around Etsy and Ravelry and Pinterest and look around what's going on, see what I like, because there are all kind of different ideas and different techniques how to how to design socks. I've never done this, so this is a start. I am going for inspiration. So it starts with the yarn that I find. It's not that I have an idea and then I go look for the yarn. I have the yarn and then I look for an idea. So this is how it works for me now. I will see you in part 2 and see what happens.